Protesters in Jerusalem camped overnight in a park next to Israel's parliament and began protesting Monday morning. The protest took place just hours before a parliament vote. Now, the vote is expected to approve the first major piece of legislation in a plan that will overhaul Israel's judicial system. Tens of thousands of supporters and opponents of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held rival rallies ahead of the key vote. Netanyahu was released from hospital after an emergency heart procedure. Now, a sudden hospitalization added another dizzying twist to an already dramatic series of events that have divided the country. New Zealand's Justice Minister has resigned after being arrested in regard to a car crash. She is the fourth minister to quit the cabinet this year. Prime Minister Chris Hipkins has also commented on the resignation, and all her portfolios was taken. Prime Minister Hipkins added that Allan was not in a good space currently and would receive support. The Justice Minister had just returned to Parliament duties on July 17th after taking days off due to mental health illnesses. In Islamabad, the Pakistan Muslim League N is now considering proposing the name of Finance Minister Ishaq Dar for taking over as the cash-strapped nation's caretaker Prime Minister. Dar's name came into focus as the Shehbaz Sharif-led government marked changes in the Elections Act of 2017. Now, they will empower the upcoming caretaker Prime Minister to take decisions beyond its constitutional mandate. However, the final decision about the candidate of Dar will be taken next week in consultation with the Pakistan People's Party, who are one of the two main coalition partners. In the city of Varanasi in India, the raging Gyanvapi mosque case has witnessed yet another twist. India's Supreme Court has stayed Varanasi District Court's scientific survey till 5 p.m. on July 26th, and for now the Supreme Court wants the status quo to be maintained. The stay order has been passed by a bench headed by India's Chief Justice, Deputy Chandrachud. The Supreme Court has directed Uttar Pradesh Council to ensure no invasive work is undertaken by the Archaeological Survey of India. French President Emmanuel Macron is slated to undertake a landmark tour to French territories and independent countries in the Pacific region. This in order to strengthen ties. The leader will be on a 5-day visit starting Monday. He will begin his tour in French archipelago of New Caledonia. Macron's tour will include Papua New Guinea on July 28th. It will be the first ever visit to the region by a French president. Now, in the latest riots to hit Ecuador's troubled penal system, at least 6 inmates were killed and 11 more were injured in weekend clashes. This was between gang members. Prison authorities have said that due to the violence, security protocols have been activated across the prison service. Also, security personnel are currently being held hostage by 4 gang members in one of the jails. Authorities say a dozen drug gang riots have claimed at least 420 lives in prisons since 2021. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed that Russia used 19 types of missiles at the southern port of Odessa. The leader added that Moscow did so to maximize the destruction. At least 50 buildings were damaged in the onslaught that happened on 23rd of July. The Greek consulate and about 25 architectural monuments are some of the buildings that were hit. Also, Ukrainian Orthodox Church, which is the second largest church in the entire country, is also among the affected buildings. Over the past week, Russia has been pounding Odessa and Ukrainian food facility near Delhi. The Spanish general elections are pointing towards a hung parliament with no clear majority for the left or the right. In fact, the right-wing Conservative People's Party came out bagging the most seats. With about 99% votes counted, the Socialists won 122 seats, while the People's Party stood at 136 seats. The voter survey expected the People's Party to win the election run, but as the election unfolds, no party or bloc seems to be winning. The two leading parties will seek to negotiate coalition deals in pursuit of a governing majority. However, analysts warn that this could result in another election. Now, Sudan has entered the 100th day of war as mediation attempts by regional and international powers fail to find a path out. The increasingly intractable conflict broke out on the 15th of April between the Sudanese army and a paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces. Since then, at least 3 million people have been uprooted. The war, which pits Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against his former deputy Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, has caused heavy civilian casualties on both sides. The targeting of civilians have also led to a mass exodus, with about 700,000 people fleeing to neighboring countries. Over the weekend alone, at least 20 people have been killed in the conflict that neither the army nor the RSF seems to be winning. Another case of racial discrimination has surfaced while police reforms and racial discrimination are becoming a major focus in the United States. Police in Ohio unleashed a canine on a black man during a traffic stop. The 23-year-old exited his vehicle with his hands raised after law enforcement officers engaged in a lengthy pursuit of his semi-tractor. As per the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the vehicle was missing a mudguard and failed to stop for an inspection. It only came to a halt after the police applied tire deflation devices. A video of the incident shows the dog biting and pulling the driver. Now, Rose is heard screaming in the video and asking the officers to get the dog off him. A ferry sank off in Indonesia's Sulawesi Island, killing at least 15 people. The National Search and Rescue Agency has said that of the 40 people, 19 are still missing and a search operation is on. The ferry was carrying people across a bay in Muna Island, which is about 124 miles from the capital. The cause for the sinking in this case remains unclear. However, ferry accidents in Indonesia are common as lax safety standards often allow vessels to be overloaded. Often these vessels do not have adequate life-saving equipment either. Over to some news from the world of climate and weather. Greece has mounted its biggest ever evacuation, moving thousands as wildfires rage across the country. Now, the country's fire department has confirmed that at least 19,000 people have been moved as blazes continue to spread uncontrollably. Nearly 2,500 people have been evacuated from the popular island of Corfu. Crowds filled the Rhodes International Airport following the evacuation, which mostly involved tourists. The inferno ripped through the pine forest of Rhodes, setting the southeast of mainland Greece ablaze. All outbound flights to Rhodes have been cancelled till tomorrow, that is Tuesday. A state of emergency has been declared in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. This came after heavy rainfall lashed out. Severe flooding caused roads and bridges to be washed out. Now, this is the heaviest rain to hit the Atlantic Canadian province in more than 50 long years. The storm dumped more than 10 inches of rainfall, which is as much as what normally falls in about the course of 3 months. The province premier has reached out for federal disaster assistance to control the damage caused by the waters. 4 people, including 2 children, have been left unaccounted for in Halifax following the intense thunderstorms. An aerial video of Fort St. James of Colombia shows thousands of hectares of scorched forests. The charred forests are a vestige of months of unrelenting wildfires. Though in the last 48 hours the area has received rainfall, it is still not sufficed to squelch fires that have burned over 35,000 hectares. However, the showers have given firefighters and the military an opportunity to consolidate efforts. As per the Wildfire Service, drier weather is expected later this week. So far, the wildfires exacerbated by drought have ashed 1.2 million hectares of forests in the province. Popular Indian coffee house chain Cafe Coffee Day's operator Coffee Day Global has been admitted for insolvency last week. A bankruptcy court passed an oral order in which it admitted the unlisted company for an insolvency based on a petition filed by IndusInd Bank. Coffee Day Global, which is part of Coffee Day Enterprises, was promoted by VG Siddhartha, who died of suicide back in 2019. According to the latest annual report of the company, its outstanding debt stood at about $8 million from IndusInd Bank. To curb the increasing dominance of China in semiconductors, Japan has taken proactive measures to restrict the export of chip-making tools. Starting from this week, Japan will be restricting 23 types of equipment ranging from machines that deposit coatings on silicon wafers to gadgets that etch out the minuscule circuits of chips that could have military use. In response to this action, some of the Tokyo officials expressed their concern that this combative US approach can hamper coordination and needlessly provoke Beijing. Although Japan's administration clarified its intentions behind the measures taken, the move is only restricting broad equipment controls, not specifically aiming at its neighboring nations, unlike the United States. Worldcoin, the brainchild of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is set to launch its revolutionary World ID on Monday. And this comes amid the implications and are nothing short of astonishing. This unique account, obtained through an in-person iris scan using the enigmatic orb, promises to be the key differentiator between real humans and AI bots online. With 2 million users from its beta phase, Worldcoin is ready to scale up its orbiting operations to 35 cities across 20 countries, aiming to empower real individuals with a secure and private blockchain-based identity. Worldcoin's World ID, coupled with its cryptocurrency token WLD, could lay the foundation for a future where universal basic income becomes a reality, helping combat income inequality and supercharging our lives with the wonders of artificial intelligence.